However, no one was particularly nosy. Most people just glanced at her and went back to their own business. Hey, did you catch the news today? Apparently. Janet Mitchell's pregnant. Paparazzi caught a shot of her leaving a prenatal checkup. Janet. She's a huge movie star. She just won an award, didn't she? And now Chess Brenton. Could it be fake news? No way. Her belly is huge. Looks like she's 8 or 9 months along. Almost ready to give birth. She's not even married, right? Pregnant out of wedlock. Ma'am, the entertainment industry is wild these days. Come on, do you know who was with her at the checkup? It was Theodore Edwards, the president of the Edwards Group. He's 6 feet tall, more handsome than any movie star, and only 28. Janet's really hit the jackpot. Marrying into all that money. The family members in the maternity ward gossiped, oblivious to Rebecca's face growing paler and paler as she lay in the corner. At last, Rebecca let out a breath of relief when they shifted their topic away from Janet's pregnancy news. She took out her phone and quickly found Theodore's number in her contacts. After a long hesitation, she finally made the call. What? Theodore's cold voice came from the other end. The babies are here, a boy and a girl. Do you want to come see them? Rebecca's voice trembled as she asked. I'm busy. No time, Theodore replied irritably before abruptly hanging up. In the hospital room. Rebecca listened to the endless beeping on the other end of the phone, her face drained of color. Her hand tightened around the phone, trembling slightly. After a moment, Rebecca suddenly felt exhausted. She glanced at the 2 babies sleeping soundly in the crib beside her. They were so peaceful. Not crying or fussing, as if they knew their mother was sad. Exhaustion from labor finally overcame her. Rebecca set the phone down, lay back on the bed, and closed her eyes. I need to rest, she thought. She had no idea how long she had slept. When she groggily woke up, she heard the soft murmurs of the other family members in the room. It seemed like they were talking about her. It's so sad that no one is here for her at a time like this. Exactly, and she had twins. I'd be thrilled. Who knows? Maybe she had an affair and wants to keep it quiet. No way. Would you please look how beautiful she is? If it was not an affair, what man wouldn't be right here by her side? Even if her husband couldn't come, her husband's parents should be here. Right? But there's no one. I bet she slept with someone else's man, got knocked up. And now she's too ashamed to tell anyone. I really think we should stay away from such a woman. Her husband. Her parents. Her husband. Rebecca pondered these words. She had just woken up feeling somewhat at peace, but no, her heart started to ache again. Was there anyone in the world who truly cared about her? Theodore's parents didn't like her. Her own parents doted on her sister, Janet, and even her husband only thought of Janet. Was it simply because she was adopted and Janet was their biological daughter? 23 years ago, her adopted parents, unable to have children after years of marriage, had brought her home from an orphanage. But just a few months later, her mother unexpectedly became pregnant and gave birth to their biological daughter, Janet. Rebecca became the unwanted child, forever overshadowed by Janet in their parents' eyes. 3 years ago, a car accident left Theodore in a vegetative state. No one wanted to marry him, but the Mitchells, driven by their own greed, pushed her into the marriage. A year later, Theodore miraculously awoke. She thought her nightmare was finally over, but then Janet fell in love with Theodore at first sight. Rebecca had a falling out with the Mitchell family because she had fallen in love with Theodore. Throughout her life, she had given up too much for Janet, and she didn't want to give up her husband too. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't win Theodore's heart. 6 months ago, Theodore came home out of the blue and handed her divorce agreement. Rebecca didn't want to agree, nor was she willing to. She even thought she could spend her whole life waiting, refusing to divorce. Even if Theodore's heart already belonged to Janet, she would remain his wife, even if in name only, forever casting Janet as the other woman. But even though she was willing to ruin her life, she lost to Theodore's ruthlessness. When Theodore found out Rebecca was pregnant, he threatened her with the baby. If she didn't agree to the divorce, she would have to terminate the pregnancy. She couldn't abandon her child. The doctor warned her that her unique medical condition meant if she terminated the pregnancy, she might never be able to have children again. With no family left, the child was Rebecca's only hope. No matter what, she couldn't give up her right to be a mother. For the sake of the children, she eventually signed the divorce agreement, since Theodore was the child's biological father. She called him before going into labor, but in the end he didn't show up. In the doctor's office, obstetrics chief Paul Carter stared at the paternity test results in disbelief. Matched? He was shocked by how much she resembled his brother's wife, with faint traces of his brother's features as well. Unable to resist, he secretly took a blood sample from Rebecca and conducted a paternity test. He never expected that a match